Hey y'all, how you doing? It's GI operation. Remember that. I think back to I don't know. I when I get in my car and drive, it just allows me to think about things. And since I'm in this 30-day challenge, um, I thought that I would talk about, you know, some of the things, and it was something I thought about. I was asked this week by um, a manager, and like they were trying to get me to do something that I'm like, nah. But they try to relate it. They be trying so hard sometimes to relate to me and my coaching ability. It's like, I don't know. They just want to. I feel like sometimes they're trying to just tear me down. And I'm like, I've never say I'm too old to learn new things, but some things in life I've already done. And if a person has looked at my resume or asked me to give them a rundown, then they really don't have much of a clue. They can only guess. They can say, oh, you're in this, say, entry-level sales position. You must be newer. No. You would have to know how my brain works for that to understand. But here or there, it's I'm not worried about entry-level in sales. Like, for real, like when I worked for the largest reseller in technology in CDW, everybody got the same base pay. Everybody's base pay. Everybody was paid the same. All A's, it was like 24 grand a year or something like that. But, you know, there was people on our team that made 50. There was people on our team that made 100. There was people on our team that made 300. There's people on our team that made 500, 600, 800, and even $1 million. Matter of fact, it was 1.2. So that part, I don't know where they get with that. And I guarantee you, just about everyone, including the person that was making right around 200, was making more than a manager. So sometimes as a salesperson, when you're a good salesperson, I don't want to sit behind a desk and manage spreadsheets and be in meetings all day. It's not for me. Not for that. I'm at my best when I am talking to people. Hello, can I talk to you? What are we going to talk about? Can I speak to the manager? Let me speak to this. Let me speak to the CEO. Let me speak to the CIO. Hey, it's Jeff Smith in. Let me talk to Jeff. Hey, Barb, how you doing? I ain't talked to you in like since yesterday. I'm a gatekeeper killer. I'm a buster. Let's call it buster, not killer. That's probably not a good taste. A gatekeeper buster. You gotta know how to talk to people. And you get that from years of experience of talking to people and being able to build relationships really quick. I learned those skills. I got really good at them working in a casino, dealing dice. You know, basically I worked in a carnival. It was a carnival park. I made crap loads of tips, right? Or tokes, as they call it in the casino. But I was asked about my baseball thing. They were trying to put it into what they felt like bite-sized pieces of things I can chew, and it irritates me. It always irritates me when somebody's BSing me, and then they trying to use something they think they know about me to get there, and that doesn't work. Because I'm like, you don't know how good I was in that either. You know, I coached baseball for 30 years. Yeah, I've had some good successful runs. I've had some several undefeated seasons, several in a row. You know, I've had some losing seasons where we won one game, but guess what? That was the goal: win me a game this year, right? You gotta always have your expectations. But they asked about buy-in and how I get teams to buy into me. Trust. That's how. I don't bullshit them. I get it to them straight. People respect straight talk. They expect to be treated fairly. and straight talk. You see through it. I wouldn't care if you walked in and said, Brian, you're fired. If that's the worst that a company can do to me, shit happens. A lot of companies make mistakes and fire good people because they don't want to, they don't understand the value of the people they have working for them. I'm a helpmate. I'm a helper by nature. I want to see my managers make money. I always know if I can help my manager make their bonuses or their commissions, I'm going to make mine too. So I always knew what my managers made or knew what their bonus structure was and knew what their commissions were. They always told me because they know they're going to get it. I learned that by the mortgage industry. I could always tell when my branch manager hit his bonus, he was possessed. I mean, that $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 check was bye-bye. And he was mad. And even him, I had to teach him one day, and I called him to the side. He was pissed off. And I said, man, that was the greatest unmotivating meeting you ever had in your life. Nobody gives a fuck about your money. Sorry. But you know what we do care about? Our money. So if you put it in our terms, like this is how you can make more money, or whatever that goal is. Their goal could be promoted. So hey, it may not be the money, it may be the deals, it may be this, it may be the phone calls. I don't want to be promoted. I don't want to be in management. I've done that, been there, done that. Nah. I'm either going to the top. What's crazy is I'm already promoted. I'm a freaking CEO and founder of one of the largest networks, black business networks in the market. But I build it by trust. And trust is asking them questions. What do you, I go to them, if I'm thinking about making a change or I'm thinking about putting in a new play, I go to them and I say, hey guys, let's talk about this. What do you guys think about this play? This is what I got in my head. This is what I was thinking. And sometimes it's gonna be, Coach, I was thinking about this. We should try this. And we run it out and we see. And we're like, hey, what y'all think about that? I already have my thoughts in my head of what I thought about it. And if I didn't like it and their thoughts are on point, then I got no argument. But if I thought something was, I was like, oh, that works pretty well, right? And, they didn't like it, then I'm gonna try to make some arguments, or I probably will scratch it. I'm like, well, what do you guys think we can do, how we can do this better? And they have their input, right? And guess what? If that's similar to what I was already trying to do, we roll with it. Guess who owns that? Them. So for me, when you give us a call flow, or call script, which is so telemarketing, like so 1994, when I did that, even in telemarketing, you had certain scripts you had to follow word for word, and you had some where they call them freestyle, where you can freestyle as long as you hit your keywords. And I found right then, early in my career, 1994, that the freestyle worked for me. And in order to make the other one work, I would just be silly all day. Hello, Mac. My name is Rain Hunt from Event National Bank. I'm giving you a call with benefit. I would just say the whole script in a different accent. Because I couldn't say it in my own voice because I don't talk like that. I don't talk like some of these people. And I realize I've had managers try to change the way I talk. Oh, you say words wrong. Yeah, sometimes I do. Sorry, man. It's gotten me where I've gotten, and I've been pretty far, and I've been in some really good things and some really good tables. I've set up some really good tables, and some of those people, a lot of those people, they answer the phone when I call. But make a long story short, that's what I do. When I'm putting together a lineup, say we've been making a lot of errors and teams kind of getting on each other, I go to my pitcher and I go to my catcher, and I'm like, all right, you guys are pitching the catcher today. Y'all know how y'all gonna attack these hitters? Yeah, well, what are we gonna do? How you gonna attack them? They're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, do this, do this. If it's similar to what I want or what I'm thinking, I let them flow. I don't want to be in their heads. I want them as relaxed as I can get them. Because people play better when they're in a relaxed mode. Get that. Understand that. It's nothing but true. Now, if I think that they have a swing or something, a hitch in their throw or something like that, I don't just go, hey, give me that bat. Let me show you how to do this. Nah. I take what they're doing already and I try to enhance it by asking them, what's your goal when you're up at bat? My goal is to hit the ball where? Are you trying to go to left field, center field, right field? You want to hit some home runs and shit? Yeah, okay. Let's do some soft toss real quick. And we just work on the hip. So we work on that one little turn. And how do we work on it? I make sure I throw the ball in that area and force them. I make the drill to where it's going to force them to do it without them thinking about it, without me even talking about it. And then I go and you see how much harder you were hitting that ball, and see how you was getting those hips open, those type of things. See how that front leg was extended. Yeah. And they go, yeah. I say, now we got it, right? You don't always have to hear things, coach, but you get it all the time. But it's what's happening in their eyes, and their eyes light up. You also got to know how to deal with multiple people in one setting. Like read a room. Like read a room. You can almost tell who's never really spoke in front of an audience, or how big the audience they spoke in. I try to give them hints because I know they don't know. And so that's there's a couple of different ways that I try to when I connect with my teams. It's how it's all based off of trust. And then one other thing, I always know about energy. So if I have a kid that can't get something, I have a kid that does something really well, I put them together. The kid that's here and the kid that's here, they're equal. He's gonna raise up to here. This kid's not gonna drop down to his level. This kid's gonna raise up to his level. And while he's teaching, he's gonna raise up. So now that kid's still going here because he's gonna get better, because you learn more when you're teaching it. And if nobody ever told you that, if you want your team to learn something, have them teach it. They have to learn it when they're teaching it. It's a secret. That's how my team do trainings all the time. They show me this. Even my sales teams. Hey, we're training on this today. You're doing the training next week. I don't know. Well, yeah. Let's see what you got. That's how it works. And then you got to be prepared if they crap out or they get nervous. But more times than not, it turns out pretty well. I don't know if you want to call it Jedi mind tricks. Shout out to T Walt in Philly. That's our thing. Kaka. It's one of my managers. I've been his manager. And it's we go kaka because it's certain things. It's just automatic, right? We don't have to say what we're saying. We know which type of kaka. We got kaka. Or kaka. It's just, we get it. It's something silly between me and him, but it's a language. And there's us being silly, right? And that's how you get those things. You have fun at work, you make a lot of money, and everybody's happy. this day and age, is too many good jobs out here. There's too many jobs that's unfilled right now for any company to try to be Billy Badass. You're not in demand. People who know how to do the job are in demand. And it's a lot of us. Why do you think I came back to work? After 10 years. The money's there. And the opportunity. And the creative minds. And you never know if you're working next to the next CEO. Remember, the people who started LinkedIn, if I'm not mistaken, they met at PayPal. You never know who you're speaking to. Protect your connections. It's not about who you know, it's who knows you. My daughter just told me, this is the last thing, she told me she ran into somebody in Los Angeles. I've been to Los Angeles like twice in my entire life. That said, I know your dad. Your dad used to be my boss. He was one of the greatest bosses ever. I thought that made me feel good. That my daughter runs into a person and they say that. And that's one of the ways that that's how I operated, because I knew that people would run into my daughter from time to time. You know, especially living in the city we live in. And I didn't, you know, so my sales, my people I manage, you know, my customers, I didn't want nobody go, your daddy did this or did that. No. Your dad was always been great. And Raina, whenever you watch this, you know, it could be 10 years from now. You know, this 30-day challenge, I'm probably going to turn into the rest of the year, road to 50. Mainly because I'm probably going to never get around to writing a book. So this will be my book. Just know that. I always try to leave people with good nuggets. So a book about getting rid of the toxic environments that you're working in. I mean, if you're a manager, you want to get rid of it. Fish is a great book. It's old. It's older. And I think people forget about some of those things, and they don't realize that they're actually creating the toxic energy. No. Can't be nitpicky. Nobody likes a nag. Nobody. Understand that. But in order to get teams to buy in and buy in quickly, you involve them in the process. You be trustful, truthful, so that they trust you. Always be honest. Tell them what's coming down the pipeline. Be straight up with them. The one thing you want to know is there's some issues going around. People see the managers going off in meetings. We know habits. Y'all always in meetings. We know y'all discussing some new changes or something's going on. Everybody knows that. Be upfront. Be honest. Because when people start looking for jobs, you don't want people, especially when you're underpaying them, you don't want people to bounce on you. And you got something big coming. Now you got to start off and you got to create a whole new culture. You got a point now where you got people who've been there for almost a year together. And they're struggling together with the company. Now, if there was some stock options, if there was some mention of that, things like that, those are things that keep people around to buy you some time. You know, something like that. Or maybe it's enticement. Maybe, you know, this campaign that we're going to have to roll out that we're trying to dry the ink on is going to put $150,000, $200,000 in your pocket year over year plus. If they don't know that, and these are your core people, I can understand you not telling somebody that just started a month ago. But your old people, they know habits. People are smarter than what they say a lot of times. A lot of times people won't say a word. But I'm just saying, be smart. Sometimes you gotta train the trainer. Oh, wait a minute. I might have done that too. All right, you know what? Linktree.com/. linktree/GI operation. Everything's in the description, right? Just check the, see what other things that I'm doing, GI operation, see other things I got my hands in. It's a lot of different things that's out there. You'll find out more about where I am, who I am, and how I operate. I'm gonna be the first millionaire in my family, guaranteed. If God willing, if He give me the days, I got the other stuff. I've been waiting for this moment. Peace.